Hi, welcome to HeyMorning. In this video, I'll show you how to set up and use our ultimate budget spreadsheet. This template is designed to help you manage your money for a full year, all in one place. You can track your income, expenses, and bills, set and monitor your savings goals, see your net worth grow, and plan to pay off debt faster. You can start in any month, any year, so your 12-month plan fits your schedule. It works for both individual budgets and shared or family budgets, supporting up to 9 users. Everything is automated. Once you enter your information, the sheet calculates, organizes, and updates everything for you, so you can focus on making smart financial decisions without spending hours on spreadsheets. Whether you're new to budgeting or just trying out a HeyMorning template for the first time, don't worry, everything is designed to be simple, automated, and easy to follow. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to set up your sheet, customize it for your own needs, and keep everything running smoothly. For this tutorial, I'm using Google Sheets, but the Excel version works almost the same. To make sure everything runs smoothly, here are some simple things to keep in mind before we start. 1. To keep things simple and prevent any mistakes, most of the spreadsheet is protected so you don't accidentally delete a formula. You should only edit the cells that start off in a plain white background. Some of these editable cells are in darker sections, and when you type in them, the background will automatically turn dark. This just keeps the sheet looking neat while still letting you know which cells you can edit. 2. If you ever see a warning message when editing, it just means that the cell is formula protected and shouldn't be edited, so just hit cancel to avoid breaking anything. The only time it's safe to ignore a warning is when you're applying a filter or sorting. I'll show you how in a moment. 3. Do not move cells around, and if you need to bring data over, always copy and paste values instead. That's it for the basics. Now let's jump in and set up your ultimate budget spreadsheet together. The Setup tab is where you fill in the basics, like your start date, who's in your budget, and your income and spending categories. Once it's set up, everything will automatically show up in the rest of the spreadsheet, so spending a few minutes here now will make everything else super smooth. Let's get started in the Setup tab and walk through the 7 easy steps to get your spreadsheet ready for the year. Step 1. Choose your currency. Start by picking the currency you want to use for your budget. If you need a different one, just delete the current symbol and type in your own. Once it's set here, the spreadsheet will use it everywhere automatically, so you won't have to enter it again. Step 2. Set your start date. Enter the year and starting month for your budget. You can start in January or any month that works for you. The spreadsheet will track 12 months from that point. One important thing, once you set your start year and month and start using your template, don't change these values. If you want to start a new 12-month budget later, the proper way is to create a brand new copy of the file. Step 3. Add your budget members. Enter the names of everyone in your budget, yourself, a partner, or even kids. These names will appear in drop-downs throughout the spreadsheet to make assigning income and expenses easier. Step 4. This is where you set your goal percentages for needs, wants, savings, and debt. The default is 50-30-20, but you can adjust them however you like. Just delete the existing percentage and type in your own. If you're not familiar with the 50-30-20 rule, no worries. We've included a simple explanation with examples down below. Step 5. Add your bank accounts. Enter all the bank accounts you'll be using for your budget. These will automatically show up in drop-downs whenever you add transactions, making it quick and easy to pick the right account. You can delete the example accounts and replace them with your own. Step 6. List your income categories. Enter all your income sources here, like salaries, side hustles, or investments. These will automatically show up in the drop-downs whenever you add transactions, making it quick and easy to pick the right one. If you have multiple earners, you can create separate categories for each. Feel free to delete the example entries and replace them with your own. Step 7. Customize your spending categories. The spreadsheet is organized into 4 main spending types: bills, general expenses, debts, and savings. Under each type, you can set up your own categories. For example, you might add electricity under bills. The sample categories are just examples, so you can delete them and replace them with your own. Once you've listed your categories, assign each one to either needs, wants, or savings plus debt. From there, your categories will automatically appear in the drop-downs when you log transactions, and the 50-30-20 tab will update to give you a clear breakdown of how your money is being spent. Now that we've set up your spreadsheet, let's move on to the Recurring Transactions tab. This is where you'll set up all your regular transactions for income, bills, expenses, debts, and savings, basically anything that repeats over time. For each transaction, you'll at least need to select the category, set the frequency, enter the amount, and choose the first payment date. The transaction type column will fill in automatically based on your category. Other columns like last payment, account, and spender or earner are optional. If you leave the last payment date blank, it will automatically default to the end of your 12-month budget from Step 2 in the Setup tab. You can choose from several frequency options: every week, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, or every 6 months. This makes it flexible whether you have weekly bills, monthly subscriptions, or quarterly payments. Here's a helpful feature. If your first or last payment date is outside the 12-month period you set in the Setup tab, or if your end date comes before your first payment date, the spreadsheet will highlight it in red. That way, you'll see right away if something needs fixing, and you can correct it before it affects your schedule. Once everything is entered, all your recurring transactions will automatically show up in the Scheduled Payments tab. From there, you can review everything at a glance and make any manual adjustments if needed. Now let's dive into the Scheduled Payments tab. This is your main hub for all scheduled payments. Anything you set up in the Recurring Transactions tab will show up here automatically, all neatly sorted by date. From here, you can review, adjust if needed, and mark payments as paid. To mark a payment as paid, simply tick the box next to it. This tells the spreadsheet to include that amount in the actual columns on your monthly tabs and dashboards. If you don't check it, the payment won't be counted anywhere, which can mess up your totals. So be sure to check them as you go. If you need to tweak a payment, for example, maybe the amount changes, or you want to assign it to a different bank account or spender, you can make those edits in the Variation section at the end of each row. At the top of the tab, you'll see filter icons on each column header. These make it easy to sort or view specific types of transactions, like just your income, bills, or savings, which is really helpful if your list gets long. If a warning appears when you apply a filter, don't worry, it's safe to just click OK. This rule applies to every tab with filters. To clear the filter you just applied, just open the column filter again. If you filtered by condition, choose None, or if you filtered by values, choose Select All to show everything. Here's an important tip when adding new recurring transactions. Take a look at your last paid checkbox or any adjusted amount in the Scheduled Payments tab that represents the most recent date you've already tracked. When you add a new recurring transaction, make sure its start date is after this date. If you accidentally set it before, it can shift your existing entries. For example, if your last checked payment is your electricity bill and you add a new transaction with an earlier date, it could push the electricity bill down and mix up the paid checkboxes. To keep your scheduled payments accurate, it's best to set up all your recurring transactions first, including start dates and frequency. Once that's done, you usually won't need to add anything later. If you do need to add a new recurring payment after the fact, make sure its start date comes after your most recent tracked transaction. This keeps everything in the right order and prevents any mix-ups. Now, let's take a look at the Variable Transactions tab. This is where you record all your one-time transactions for income, bills, expenses, debts, and savings. Anything that doesn't repeat like your recurring transactions goes here. For each transaction, enter the date, the amount, and select the category from the drop-down. The transaction type column will automatically fill in based on the category you choose. Here's a quick tip. If your list of categories is long, it can be tricky to scroll through the drop-down to find the right one. A simple way to make it faster is to just start typing a few characters from your category name, and the drop-down will narrow down the options for you. This makes selecting categories much quicker and easier. You can also add the account, spender, or earner, but these are optional, so feel free to leave them blank if you don't need them. Since these are one-time transactions, there are no checkboxes here. Each transaction should only be entered once, after it's been paid. One important thing to watch out for. If a row is highlighted in red, it means that category is already listed in your Scheduled Payments tab. You don't need to re-add it here, because doing so would create duplicates and throw off your budget totals. Just like in the Recurring Transactions and Scheduled Payments tabs, this tab has built-in filters. They are very handy if your list gets long or if you want to focus on specific types of transactions. And remember, anytime a warning pops up when you apply a filter, it's safe to click OK. Now, let's take a look at the monthly tabs. You'll find 12 of them, automatically created based on the start month you set in the Setup tab, and you can rename each one to the corresponding month name or whatever works best for you. Each monthly tab is where you'll plan and track your budget for that month. Here's how it works. First, decide on your budget style. If you'd like leftover money from the previous month to roll over, just type in your leftover amount in the Start Balance and tick the box. That way, it'll be included in all your calculations. If you prefer a zero-based budget, where you don't want to roll over the end balance from the previous month, just leave that box unchecked. Next, enter your planned amounts. For income, just type in your expected earnings for the month. For bills, expenses, debts, and savings, enter the budget you want to set for each category. That's all for the manual setup. Everything else updates automatically. Your actual amounts are pulled in and calculated from the Variable Transactions tab and from paid items in your Scheduled Payments tab. Any overspending is clearly highlighted in the diff column, so you can instantly see if you're on track or going over budget. And the cash flow summary shows planned, actual, and left amounts for income, bills, expenses, debts, and savings, so you can see exactly where your money went and how close you stayed to your plan. Each monthly tab also includes visuals to help you quickly understand your finances. A mini calendar with today highlighted, a progress bar showing how much of your budget is left, notes space for reminders, snapshots of totals, and charts for cash flow, spending allocation, and daily balance trends. So, to sum it up, you only need to set your budget strategy and enter your planned amounts. Everything else is done for you. Just check in regularly, glance at the charts, and adjust your plan for the next month if needed. Now let's take a look at the Annual Dashboard tabs. This spreadsheet comes with 2 separate annual dashboards, each designed with a clear purpose to make understanding your finances easier and more intuitive. The first dashboard focuses solely on your actual amounts. Here, you can see exactly what's happened with your income, expenses, savings, and debt over the year. This makes it easy to spot trends, track growth, and understand exactly where your money went. The second dashboard compares your planned budget against the actual results. This side-by-side view helps you see where you stayed on track, where you overspent, and how well your budgeting strategy is working. So first, let's dive into the actual amounts dashboard and take a closer look at how it helps you track your real numbers throughout the year. This dashboard is completely view-only and fully automated. You don't need to make any manual edits here. Everything is pulled directly from your Variable Transactions and Scheduled Payments tabs. At the very top, you'll see a quick snapshot of how your income was used. What percentage went to bills, to general expenses, and how much went toward debt payments or savings. Right next to that, on the left side, you'll find your yearly cash flow chart, plus a progress chart of how much you have left to spend. And on the right side, you'll see your month-by-month income compared to your total spending, your spending allocation chart, and a list of your top 10 spending categories. These visuals make it super easy to see exactly where your money went. As you scroll down a bit further, you'll find a cash flow table breaking everything down month by month, and right next to it, a dynamic column chart with a drop-down menu. Pick income, expenses, bills, debt, or savings, and the chart instantly refreshes to show you the month-by-month columns for that transaction type. So, scrolling a bit further down, you'll see the key yearly totals: your total income, total spending, total saved, total debt paid, and the amount left to spend. These numbers give you a clear picture of your overall financial position for the year at a glance. And right beneath those totals, there are separate tables for each transaction type: income, bills, expenses, savings, and debts. Each table breaks down your totals by category, showing both the full year's total and the monthly average. The monthly average is really useful because it helps you understand what a typical month looks like for each category. On the left of each table, you'll find a pie chart that visually shows the percentage distribution across categories, making it easy to see where most of your money is going in each transaction type. This way, you'll not only see your big picture numbers for the year, but also get a clear breakdown of exactly how your money was used. Now, let's walk through the annual planned versus actual dashboard. This is where you get a clear view of how your year's budget actually played out. This tab is also completely view-only and fully automated. You don't need to make any manual edits. Everything is automatically pulled from your 12 monthly tabs, as well as your variable transactions and scheduled payments tabs. At the top of the tab, you'll see a 12-month overview. Here, you get a full picture of your planned versus actual amounts for the year. You'll see your start balance if you're using a carried over budget, along with income, bills, expenses, debts, and savings. Any overspending is highlighted, so you'll notice it right away. Just below that, you'll find 12 monthly planned versus actual tables. They show the same information as the annual overview, but broken down by month, making it easy to spot trends, compare months, and identify areas that may need attention. This section is collapsible. Click the little minus icon, and the full 12-month breakdown folds away for a cleaner, more compact view. Scrolling further down, you'll see each transaction type, income, bills, expenses, debts, and savings, with a detailed month-by-month planned versus actual comparison. Each type has a corresponding column chart on the right, and any overspending is highlighted, so you can quickly see where adjustments are needed. The real benefit of this dashboard is that it gives you a clear, focused look at how your budget actually performed. No need to go through all 12 monthly tabs. You can instantly see what went as planned, what didn't, and where to make changes. It's all in one place, super easy to read, and helps you make smarter decisions for the rest of the year. Now let's take a look at the Smart Calendar. This is your built-in bill calendar. It shows all your upcoming recurring payments in one place. It's fully automated, so you don't need to enter anything manually. On the left, select the month, year, and the day of the week you want your calendar to start. Once you do, the calendar updates automatically, and all your payments from the Scheduled Payments tab will appear. Today's date is highlighted in red, so you'll always know exactly where you are. To track your payment progress, I'm going to quickly hop over to the Scheduled Payments tab and mark a few as paid. Then, coming back to the Smart Calendar, you'll see they're now crossed out. You can also highlight holidays, events, or anything special using the Highlight Dates section on the left. When a month is complete, or you want to check next month's bills, just change the month or year at the top left. The calendar refreshes automatically. This tab gives you a clear, real-time view of your upcoming payments, so you always know what's due, what's paid, and what's coming next, without any extra work. Now, let's check out the Savings and Sinking Funds tracker. This is where you can manage all your savings and sinking funds in one place. It supports up to 30 funds and automatically pulls in the savings you set up in Step 7 of the Setup tab. Your current balances are calculated automatically from all your savings entries in the Variable Transactions and Scheduled Payments tabs, so you never have to enter the same info twice. To get started, go to the Savings Overview section to set up your goals. You can assign an emoji to each fund for a more visual setup. It will appear on the fund name section of each card below, making it easy to spot at a glance. Enter your goal amount and starting balance if you already have some saved, and add a start date and goal date so the tracker can calculate your monthly targets automatically. Once your goals are set, the tracker does the rest, calculating your current balance, how much is left to save, and your progress toward each goal. Below the overview, each fund has its own card. You'll see the fund name, a progress chart, goal amount, current balance, starting balance, amount left to save, and the goal date. A color-coded bar at the bottom shows your progress. Green means you've reached your goal. Orange means you're still working on it. If you want a cleaner view, simply collapse the overview section by clicking the minus icon. You'll then just see the card view, making it easy to track all your funds at a glance. Now let's take a look at the Debt Payoff Calculator tab. Here's where you can see all your debts in one place, set your payments and interest rates, and instantly check your projected debt-free dates. Start by entering your repayment start date. You can pick any start date. It doesn't need to match the month you set in your Setup tab. Next, choose your repayment strategy. This planner supports 3 options. Debt Avalanche. Pay minimums on all debts, but put any extra toward the one with the highest interest. This helps you save on interest over time. Debt Snowball. Focus on the smallest debt first. Once it's paid off, roll that payment into the next smallest. This builds momentum as you go. Custom. Choose your own order based on the sequence you entered in Step 7 of the Setup tab. In the table below, you'll see all your debts listed automatically. For each debt, you will need to fill in the start balance, interest rate, and minimum payment. You can also optionally add a note for any extra details. Additionally, you can enter a monthly extra payment at the top of this tab, which is any extra money you want to put toward your debts on top of your minimum payments. Scroll down and you'll see a table that automatically sorts your debts based on your chosen repayment strategy. For 𝗪𝗏𝗆, it sorts from lowest to highest balance. For 𝗪𝗏𝗆𝗆, it sorts from highest to lowest interest rate. For custom, it follows the order you set in the Setup tab. On the right, the Overview section shows your total balance, projected debt-free date, and overall progress. If you want to adjust payments for a specific month, use the plus or minus column below. Enter a positive number to pay extra, or a negative number to reduce the payment. The tracker automatically combines your monthly minimum payments with any plus or minus adjustments and applies the total to your debts in order, starting with the first unpaid debt and working down the list. You'll also see a breakdown for each debt, showing how much you've paid and what's still left. That's it for the debt payoff calculator. Once you've filled in your details, everything updates automatically so you can clearly see your progress toward becoming debt-free. Now let's take a look at the 50-30-20 Dashboard tab. This tab is fully automated. Your only job is to select a start date and end date in the top left corner. Everything else is filled in automatically based on the allocations you set for needs, wants, savings, and debt in the Setup tab. On the left side, you'll see your total income spent for the period, plus a detailed breakdown showing how much went to each category. If there are any categories you haven't assigned to either needs, wants, or savings and debt in the Setup tab, they will appear at the bottom here. This helps you spot anything missing so you know why it's not showing up in the totals. On the right side, you'll see totals for needs, wants, savings, and debt, along with easy-to-read charts to help you quickly visualize your spending. Right below the charts, you'll find a detailed category breakdown that shows exactly where your money went. This dashboard gives you a clear, at-a-glance view of how your spending stacks up against the 50-30-20 rule, so you can quickly spot imbalances and stay on track with your budget. Now let's take a look at the Distribution tab. This tab is fully automated. Just select a start and end date in the top left corner, and the tab will automatically populate all your data. Here, you can see who earns and spends what, making it perfect for shared or family budgets. If you're on an individual budget, you can skip or hide this tab. At the top, you'll see two main charts that give you a clear picture of income and spending distribution. Below the charts, detailed tables show the history of income and spending for all earners and spenders. This dashboard makes it easy to see who's earning, who's spending, and exactly where your money is going, helping you keep the whole household on track. Now let's take a look at the Net Worth tab. This is where you track your net worth over time and see how you're progressing toward your goal. Start by setting your annual net worth goal on the left-hand side. Then, fill out all your assets and liabilities. For assets, we've broken it down into 4 main categories, and under each category, you can add up to 10 subcategories. Some examples are pre-filled, but you can customize, edit, or delete anything to fit your needs. Liabilities work the same way. You have 3 main categories, each supporting up to 10 subcategories, and everything is fully customizable. Once your categories and subcategories are set up, the next step is to enter your starting amounts at the beginning of your budget for each subcategory. This sets the baseline for your net worth calculations. After that, each month you'll log the latest amounts for each subcategory in its months column. Totals for each category and your overall assets, liabilities, and net worth will update automatically. On the left side of the table, you'll see your growth from the starting amount. An upward triangle shows growth, a downward triangle shows a decrease. At the top of the dashboard, you'll find key numbers, including your goal amount, total assets, total liabilities, current net worth, annual growth, and amount left to reach your goal. Below that, the intuitive charts give you a clear picture of your month-by-month net worth growth, your asset distribution, and a trend chart comparing assets versus liabilities. With this tab, you can watch your net worth grow, celebrate progress, and clearly see the next steps to reach your financial goals. Now let's dive into the Bank Accounts tab. This is your one-stop view for all your bank accounts, letting you see balances at a glance. In the Recurring Transactions and Variable Transactions tabs we've covered earlier, you can assign a bank account to each transaction. Once that's done, this tab calculates all your account balances automatically. Before you get started, enter the starting balance for each account. Enter positive numbers for your checking, savings, or other accounts, and negative numbers for credit cards so everything calculates correctly. In the Current Balance section, you can see each account's real-time balance, including all your income, bills, expenses, debts, and savings. Total In shows the sum of all incoming transactions categorized as income. Total Out adds up all outgoing transactions like bills, expenses, debts, and savings. Adjustment updates automatically whenever you log a transfer in the Transfers Between Accounts section below. Last Checked is where you can note the last time you reviewed or reconciled that account. At the bottom, the Transfers Between Accounts section is where you record any money moving between your accounts, like paying off a credit card from checking or transferring funds to savings. Just enter the date, source account, destination account, and amount, and your balances above will update instantly. Keep this tab updated, and you'll always know exactly where your money is, making account tracking and reconciliation super easy. So that's it for our walkthrough of the Ultimate Budget Spreadsheet. I hope this makes it easier for you to get your sheet set up and start feeling in control of your finances. If you have any questions or run into anything, don't hesitate to reach out. We love helping our community get the most out of their templates. And if you want more tips, sneak peeks at new templates, and easy budgeting advice, follow HeyMorning on YouTube and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for watching, and happy budgeting!